Hello, hello, hello! Hope you're doing well. Sorry, I'm always like, is it working? It is working. Hello, my name is Fiona. I use she, her pronouns, and this is Too Long Didn't Read Tabletop RPGs. I've had to move my camera around a bit, and I had to use my microphone around a little bit for this class I'm taking, so I'm always like, I don't know what it looks like anymore. I hope you're doing well this wonderful Sunday morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, time zone wise. I've had a very good weekend overall. Sorry, this jaunty music's really great, but it's also incredibly loud for me. So I am, I had a very good weekend. I just spent all of it mostly reading, which is lovely. I decided to stay in and just go through, because I have a few RPG commitments coming up in the next few weeks, and I thought, why don't I just stay in and just read as much as I can. I also did my various bits of coursework I had to do for this course that I'm on, which was good. And then today I managed to go donate some books, which has been on my mind recently. This is a really random tangent before we get onto today's stream. There is no, charity shops or goodwill shops, etc. Really, where I live, I have to go out of the area that I am to donate, which is fine, no problem. And I found one place that takes books. There's a company in the UK called Oxfam, and they have specific things to take books in. And it took me about, I got a huge bag of books and I went, and it took me 10 minutes to actually talk to someone to take the books, because so many people were buying books, which is really lovely. They have a really awful system for how they categorize. Like, they have to open the book, like if there's not like a scanning thing that you can scan the barcode of it. They have to look it up and then put it in manually. And when you have these charity shops that are staffed by volunteers, you're like, oh gosh. So it took me a little while, but got rid of the books as well, so it's another thing off my to-do list, which is good. And it's slightly warmer today in the UK, which is nice, because it was very cold the last week or so. We've had some various snowstorms, etc., so it's nice to be like, oh, I don't have to wear all these layers, which is good. Anyway, there we go. Let's talk about today's Too Long Didn't Read Tabletop RPG. So the point of the stream, the aim of the stream, is that I'm going to spend like an hour or so just going through an RPG that's been on my list for a little while, read through sort of the main game mechanics and discuss it, like see what else, why should we play this game, what excites people to play it, etc., all those good things. And basically it was a way for me to read something that I would not normally do otherwise. It also makes me accountable, because I have so many tabletop RPGs that I may never play, which is a bit rubbish, to be honest with you. So today I am very curious for this one. So this is you either pronounce it Agon, Americans up here, or Agon. So I believe I'm going to call it Agon, which is the UK pronunciation of it. Agon, which is an action-packed role-playing game about epic heroes who face trials from the gods in an ancient world of myth and legend. This came out a little while ago. We're going to look at the second edition of this today, which came out in about 2020. And yeah, I am very curious. It's one of those games which has been like around, and when I show you the cover of it, you probably go, oh yeah, I've seen that on various tables and stuff like that. But it's one of those games where I'm like, I don't know if I would enjoy this. And the reason I say that is that I'm not the biggest fan of ancient Greek or ancient Rome mythology or mythology is what the word I'm looking for, folklore. Just because I much prefer Norse mythology myself, and I'm sure loads of people do, and it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, and I think it's because usually, not saying it always, usually the women don't end up great in Greek or Roman mythology. They don't in Norse mythology either, but there's usually a few more goddesses are a bit badass, I find anyway. But regardless, this is an RPG that's published even by Evil Hat Games, who will know from like Fate Accelerated, Monster of the Week, etc. So it's another one of their offerings, and we'll go into the descriptions of like what they provide on their website, so that'll be fun. And it's written primarily by Fred Hicks, who again, quite a well-known collaborator, or I think actual person in Evil Hat Games. I'm sure that's the case now, because they're definitely big into the Fate stuff. And then Sean Knitter, who again is one of the main writers for Evil Hat Games. So there we go. Let's just get off my big head and go straight into it. So here is the website. argon-rpg.com comes to a little launch page, launching website, where you can basically, it's all the links where you can find Agon. So first things first, look, already, like, here's a free thing you can download, so free player's kit, so that's all the character sheets that you'd need, or player references. Again, I've got those downloaded, so that's all great. You can go to the itch.io, the Agon itch.io store to buy the version of the game, which I can look up onto, I think. There's also one Evil Hat, which we can go onto as well, and you can get where we can get the soft cover as well at Drive RPG. So there instantly is loads of places you can get it into your favourite sort of tabletop RPG like provider. Here's the interesting thing though. So it is supported. The system that they use is called Paragon, and it's used in a number of their games, but it's under a Creative Commons license, and so you can have your own copy of the system reference document package, so all the stuff, so like rules text, all the related materials, download that and create your own games on that, which is brilliant. And here is some more examples of what the Paragon system can also support. Something called Chamber there, Surge Protectors, Storm Furies. So that's really cool, and different playsets for that. So yeah, 100% already I'm like, oh right, so they're already like, hey, you like the system? Do something with it. So that's really cool. We're not necessarily going to look at that particular document today, because I want to really look at the Agon, like, way it sort of translates like that. And the other thing I'd say as well, because it is not a too long book, but we're not going to go into all this sort of lore or sort of the world building that they've put into this game, because I had a quick earlier and it's about half of the material, which is fine, but you know, again, that's but if we were going to actually run this game. Evening. Hi, Hatchling. Evening. Can't stay too long, but wanted to drop by and say hi. Just listened to the fascinating interview with Sean Knitter. Oh, yeah, about Evil Hat select projects they want to publish. Excellent, excellent. Well, funny enough, Sean is also one of the writers on Agon, so that's all good. I think I've said it wrong as well. I don't think it is Fred Hicks now. I think it is John Harper. I've completely said the wrong person there as well. So John Harper and Sean Knitter both worked on Agon together. So, oh well, I'm very pleased that you're here, actually. Thanks for coming along. I hope you're having a really good Sunday. So, this is what it looks like on, sorry, words have gone today, Drive-Thru RPG. And yeah, so roughly the PDF is about $15. Obviously, it's a bit more on Drive-Thru RPG, so what, about £13 or so. Also, you can't see, but it says Platinum Bestseller over there. You can also buy like it as a soft cover as well. So this might be, again, because Evil Hat Productions is a US-based store, and so if you wanted to get like a physical copy of stuff, they don't. I think they might have changed their policy recently, but I seem to remember they weren't keen to deliver outside of the US. So you can get soft covers from Drive-Thru RPG if that's what you were looking for. And there you go. Yes, there you go. So that's where you can get it on Drive-Thru RPG as well. That's where I got my copy as well. I'm just trying to see. I think obviously they're about roughly the same. And that's the image of. That's the sort of. Sorry, words are not my strong point. That's the cover there. So again, it's quite a nice standout. Like it looks really good. That sort of orangey yellow, bluey green on the like helmet, Grecian helmet on the black really stands out. So I really like it. Yeah, I don't know why I said Fred Hicks. I think it's because I was thinking of Fate Accelerated, and now Fiasco's somebody else. That's Jason Morningstar. Anyway, so you can, as you can see, you can get your hardcover there as well. So there's plenty of options of where to get it from. So I very much recommend checking them out. And I also recommend checking out Evil Hat Games anyway. They are pretty good with their PDFs. So let's have a read through what it says on the tin, shall we? So Heroes of Legend. In the midst of ancient time, a poet sings of the great deed wrought by mighty heroes, of monsters slain and justice restored, of wide counsel and devious strategies, of courage, valour and daring, defiant of the gods themselves. In Agon, you create these heroes, crafting their epic tale into an immortal legend. On their way back home from war, a band of heroes becomes lost amongst strange islands, populated by mythical creatures, dangerous villains, legendary kingdoms, and desperate people, each entangled in strife at the mercy of the capricious gods. It falls to you, as epic heroes of your age, to seize this opportunity for greatness, to set things right in these lost lands, to overcome the trials of gods, monsters, and mortals, prove the glory of your name, and win your way back home. Fantastic. So pretty much you're doing your own version of the Odyssey then. Fantastic. Again, easy enough storyline to come through. So in this game we have a brand new game system. So that's the Paragon system. For fast-paced heroic adventure featuring simple characters and mechanics, quick location-based adventures, and one-role conflict resolution. Ooh, that sounds good to me. Don't know about you guys. Play it as a 0 prep one-shot. Interesting. So when I opened up the PDF, I must say there was quite a lot of stuff on it, and I also went, oh, I don't know, especially if I'm not a big Greek myth fan anyway. Or enjoy the complete experience as an ongoing series of island adventures. I really like this idea of the way that story is, that you, no matter, it could be that West March type feel where you can have a band of heroes. Some of them stay with the boat, some of them don't, etc. And you just move along, getting those stories bit by bit. I really like that. So we've also got rules for creating your own epic heroes, earning glory for their name, and forging their eternal legends. Divine favour, bonds, and pathos to call upon for great deeds. And we've got 12 pre-made island adventures full of gods, monsters, and people to challenge your heroes. Wow. And then contests of arts and oration, blood and valour, craft and reason, and resolve and spirit, testing both the prowess and passions of these heroes. Guidance for the Strife player, who presents the challenges of the islands. Oh, I wonder if the Strife player, I guess that must be the name for the Games Master. Cool. And then we have something called the Vault of Heaven to record your progress towards returning home, and the grace, or in brackets, or ire of the gods. Nice, nice, nice. What else we've got here? Just checking. Okay, so we've got a number of players that sort of aim towards is 3 to 6. Got 2 to 4 hours per session. Nice. And yeah, and then this is the second edition, so we've got, and it came out about roughly 4 years ago. So all good stuff. There. Hey, you're just here to lurk whilst we record. Oh, that toothbrush, you should be paying attention to the game, my friend. Well, have a good recording session. Appreciate you lurking. All right. Well, with all that out of the way, let's just go into the let's just go into it, shall we? All right. So Agon. So like I said, this is about 160 pages. Roughly half of it is game mechanics. The other thing I might refer to whilst we do this is this player kit, which has been revised. So this hopefully should be the updated one. We've got 7 sheets in it, which it looks like we've got so the main character sheet. Oh, this is when it's going to. There you go. Main character sheet, which looks quite a lot, I'm going to admit, but at the same time, it does remind me a little bit of how Blades in the Dark looks as well. So maybe it's nothing new. We also have like a character creation type sheet here, which is pretty good. A hero reference, so like just moves to look to, a couple of move pages, and then island destinies. Ooh, so you got loads. Oh, you got all the islands here. Interesting. And then what is this? I don't know what this is. Fight, seize, defend. Oh, I'm guessing that's the sort of moves you can make in combat, perhaps, in this particular sheet. And then the final sheet looks like the same as the previous one. That first one, so maybe you get 2 character sheets, perhaps. Curious. All right, but we'll look through it as we get on there. Let's go from there. The other thing I should say, and I bet it's not going to show it. I did accidentally download a spread version of Agon, and it looked very impressive, but I found it very overwhelming. But I must say the artwork for the sort of sections or the chapters it looked pretty good over 2 pages, I'd say. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see if we can see any of that, but we will see. There's the credit. So yeah, there's John Harper. I don't know why I was thinking. Oh, and Jason Morningstar is here. There we go. And there's Fred. There you go, Fred Hicks. There we go. He is the person. Yes, he is part of Evil Hat, as is Sean Knitter. There we go. Right. Got my brain in gear now. I've got additional playtesters, acknowledgements. Oh, all right, let's go into this. So what have we got here? We've got thesis, origin, trial, respite, legend, grace, guidance, islands, compendium, lexicon, and cultural primer. I like to see there's a lexicon and a cultural primer. That sounds good for people like me who don't know anything about Grecian mythology. So yeah, all the way up. So we've got, obviously these are the chapter headings. I do wish it was a bit more obvious what they meant. I'm going to assume origin is character creation. I'm guessing like guidance could be like GM guidance, perhaps. I think islands onwards, I had a quick look. I think that is the lore that they're setting up for us, or the worlds that we can create from there. I'm guessing maybe trials is going to be the main mechanics stuff. So we'll go through as much as we can, and we'll see what we see. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Greek myth fan. And I'll tell you why. I read a book recently called I want to say The Silence of the Girls. I don't know if that is the name of the book now. It's by the series of Pat Baker, I want to say, which talks about sort of telling the story of the fall of Troy from the women who were involved in it. And let me tell you, it's grim. I enjoyed the story, but I was like, there's a lot of sexual assault in here. So I was like, you know what? No, for me. So it's kind of interesting how these glorious, like, you know, myths myths and stories and stuff like that. And you go, probably wasn't great for some people involved in them. And the same goes for obviously Norse mythology as well, any kinds of mythologies. But I was a bit like, ugh. So when when I randomly rolled to look at Agon, I was like, okay, let's change my mind. Yeah, you don't see it. So that's a really cool, like, 2-page sort of section holder on that. So but we'll never see it. So what have we got? So in thesis, I assume it's going to tell us this. We've got Heroes of Legend, the game, players, cycle of play, the dice, and touchstones. All right, I quite like having the thesis and telling you stuff about like what is going to be in there. Again, would have preferred that on the contents page, just personally say, so I know if I was like, oh, which section has the stuff about the cycle of play, or it had a touchstones, it had a recommendation, media recommendation list. It'd be good to have that. Let's go in enhance. I do like the border though, that's quite cool. And I do like the subtle blue as well, that's quite nice. Okay, Heroes of Legend. In the mists of ancient time, a poet sings of great deeds wrought by mighty heroes, of monsters slain and justice restored, of wise counsel and devious strategies, of courage, valour and daring, defiant of the gods themselves. In Agon you create these heroes, crafting their epic tale into an immortal legend. On the way back home from war, a band of heroes becomes lost amongst strange islands populated by mythical creatures, dangerous villains, and legendary kingdoms and desperate people, each entangled in strife at the mercy of the capricious gods. It falls to you as epic heroes of your age to seize this opportunity for greatness, to set things right in these lost lands, to overcome the trials of gods, monsters, and mortals, prove glory to your name, and win your way back home. All right. Passions and prowess. Heroes in Agon are defined by an essential duality, the human and the transcendent. There are powerful figures capable of epic feats, but they're also people. They can be hurt, exhausted, and heartbroken. To represent this, the heroes have 2 key resources at their disposal: divine favour and pathos. Divine favour represents the capacity for superhuman achievement. By calling upon the precision of Artemis, the insight of Hecate, and the cunning of Hera and others, a hero might reach beyond their limits. Divine favour is powerful, but unreliable, as the fate of the gods is not assured. Pathos represents the inner fire of perseverance that a hero draws upon during hardships. Where a lesser person would fall, a hero stands strong, driven by their passion. Pathos is not infinite, however. When it burns out, a hero enters agony and slips closer to their fate. By empowering the heroes with divine favour and pathos, the game highlights the essential duality of the characters. They are passionate people striving for glory against strife of the world, blessed by the gods to set things right. I am gonna change the music. It is a little bit too jaunty. I just want to relax. Maybe let's go for let's try that. We'll see how that tune goes for a little bit. Your mythic world. Though Agon is inspired by ancient Greek myths and legends, the action... God damn it. There's still too many, like, symbols. Who's got the tambourine out again? Alright, I'm gonna go for something else. Sorry. Just go for... I mean, actually, no, it's alright, isn't it? Yeah. We'll go with it for the moment. Though Agon is inspired by ancient Greek myths and legends, the action of the game takes place within a strange, mist-shrouded sea, hiding uncharted islands not found in the Mediterranean. This is a fantasy world for you to explore, not a historical one, building upon ancient, enchanting Greek myths to forge your own legends. Think of your favourite swords and sandals media, Xena the Warrior Princess, Clash of the Titans, or scenes on the Thermos. Oh, it's the one from Wonder Woman. I know. Them. This is a simpler world where the strength of your arm and the fire of your spirit makes a difference, but modern sensibilities are fully welcome in play. If you want to base your characters on current epics like Letty, Dom, and Hobbs from the Fast and Furious movies, go for it. You can tell I've never watched those movies. The racism, sexism, and ableism and other bigotries of the past can be confronted head-on or set aside as you see fit. A game of Agon is an opportunity for you and your friends to hang out and have fun telling a rousing story. Be mindful and include the elements that everyone wants to explore and discard the rest. On that note, this game does not demand traditional gender roles and identities for the characters. Every type of person can be a hero. The same goes for characters with disabilities. All heroes are welcome on this epic journey where the splendour of their deeds will write their names in legend. Good one, Evil Hat. Appreciate that. So the game itself, Agon is a fast-paced tabletop role-playing game of heroic adventure, suitable for newcomers and veterans alike. The rules are designed to be simple to learn and easy to use, focusing on the epic actions of the heroes against the strife afflicting the world. Simple characters and mechanics. The characters in the game are simple with only a few traits, so they're quick to create and easy to play. Players don't need to digest a lot of rules before they jump into the game. Each mechanic can be learnt as it comes up in play, with the system mastery developing over time. Nice, okay, great. Each session of the game covers an adventure in a dangerous place, namely a lost island suffering from strife. A collection of islands is provided in this book, so very little preparation is required to play. Just choose an island and you're off and running. Everything you need to play is included in the island materials. An adventure can be completed in a single session of 2 to 3 hours. I like how it's just telling you up front this sort of stuff. I appreciate it very much. So, one roll resolutions. Each scene in the game revolves around a trial, a conflict between the heroes and their opponents. To resolve a conflict, everyone rolls dice together in a single contest. The results of the contest determine all outcomes at once, which side gets their way, who is best and who suffers. The results of the contest is final, the situation is resolved and new circumstances arise leading to a new trial and contest to overcome it. In Agon, you don't linger over things, you face the challenge and then move on, win or lose. The one roll resolution gets everyone involved in the action and keeps the pace of the game high. As soon as trouble arises, the group meets it head on. They either defeat it or succumb, with either outcome immediately leading into a new scene of adventure. Okay, this sounds promising. I actually am like, oh, okay. Agon is a game for 3 to 6 players. 4 is ideal though. One of you takes on the role of the strife player. Oh, yes, I was right. You present the islands and the trials to the heroes. The rest of you are hero players. You each portray a hero who faces the challenges of the islands to earn glory, appease the gods, and make progress towards home. Already, okay, I'm liking this more and more with the strife player stuff. That's great. When you're the hero player, you create and portray a hero on their quest for a glorious homecoming. Your job is to make your hero larger than life, a memorable character worthy of an epic tale. You face danger and overcome strife to appease the gods, competing with your fellow heroes to earn the greatest share of glory and forge your legend. The hero players are kind of like the members of a sports team. Classic. You're all working together towards a common goal against the opposition, but each of you wants to be the star of the team. The strife player. So when you're the strife player, you don't play a hero. Instead, you present a dangerous island to the other players so their heroes can contend with its challenges. You portray the gods, monsters, and people that heroes encounter and describe the places they visit. A collection of islands are included in this book with locations, characters, and trials for you to use. The Strife player is like a guide and a referee. You point out the interesting and challenging features that the heroes come across, and then help adjudicate contests to find out what happens when the heroes clash with the trials of the island. You might be the Strife player for one island, then a hero player for the next, or you might decide to be the Strife player for several islands in a row. It's up to you and the other players to decide which roles to take on. For more information about being a Strife player, we'll discuss it in page 66. Okay. So instantly what I like about this is that the game is already set up so that you will complete a session, a story, in one go. And that means like everyone can have a go at being the Strife player. So it's not the same, you're not having to hang on or be a different, has to be over several sessions. So already I'm liking this game that you can easily go, I want to try being a game master for a session. Yeah, instantly liking that. Alright, cycle of play. So Agon is played in a number of phases, starting with the origin of the heroes, and each game session includes the trials of an island and a period of respite. After a number of islands has been visited, the heroes end their tales and forge their legends. So in Origin, players create their heroes, giving them epitaphs, names, and other adventurous traits. They establish bonds with one another, and the first leader of the companions is chosen. Trials. So gameplay begins when heroes arrive at an island afflicted by strife. Each island provides an immediate contest upon arrival that establishes the situation and demands heroic action, like the opening teaser for a thrilling TV show. After the initial conflict, the heroes explore the island, befriend allies, confront enemies, and attempt to overcome the trials that strife has placed in their path. Finally, the heroes face a battle to determine the ultimate destiny of the island, whether it's pulled out of despair or slips further into misery. Nice. Respite. So when the heroes leave an island, their great deeds and virtues are recorded in the ongoing epic tale. Once they depart, there's no going back. The island's destiny is set by their actions, and it recedes into the mists, lost to the heroes forever. The heroes spend time together during the voyage to rest and recover, making sacrifices to the gods, and choose a leader for the group. When the voyage is done, the heroes once again find themselves at an island plagued by strife, and the cycle begins anew. So, legend is when a hero's tale comes to an end, whether by glorious homecoming or meeting their fate. The player takes a measure of their name, deeds, and virtues to forge their legend. That's such a very simple, straightforward, like, here is a 4-step process of what a game is like. But then it's just these 2 steps, like, in a constant sort of cycle until you go, time to end. I really like that. Alright, so the dice. So there's five different dice used in this game. We've got D4s, D6s, D8s, D10s, and D12s. Each hero player needs at least 1 die of each size, but it's better if each player has 1 D4, 3 D6, 3 D8, 2 D10, and 1 D12. Okay. The Strife player should have multiples of each dice size to use for foes, as well as bonus die when the players need them. Key traits of heroes and their opponents are rated with dice. So your hero might have a name of D6 and a blood and valor of D8. An opponent might have a name die of D10 or the epitaph stone-hearted rated as a D8. The bigger the D8, the more powerful the trait is. Okay. And then we've got some touchstones. We've got what things would make me... What things would make... So we've got Xena Warrior Princess, the Iliad and the Odyssey. Yes, of course, of course. The Song of Achilles and Circe. Clash of the Titans. I have seen that one. That's the stop animation one there. Oh no, that's this one. Jason and the Argonauts. Wonder Woman by Patty Jenkins. The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. Fast and Furious gets in there. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Oh, nice. Yes, that. I've only played a little bit of that game, but I very much enjoyed it. And Hades. Hades did not come out in 2020, right? Gosh, that makes me feel incredibly old. Okay, and that's the first section, so a nice little quick easy introduction into it. Alright, let's go on Origin. So this is going to be how we create a hero. So far, reading it was very straightforward to read, and very... Ooh, don't freeze on me. There we go. very like simple English as well, for me to speak anyway. So creating a hero. So to create a hero, you need to choose a heroic epitaph, create a name for your hero, determine your lineage, favored domain, choose your honored god, and record divine favor. You'll also record your hero's style, their look, armor, and favored weapon. And then finally, you'll establish your starting bonds. Okay, so we've got a couple of steps, but it will be fun. We can have a copy of the sheet. And we've got an example of a completed sheet in about 5 pages time. Nice. This is the sheet we're sort of looking at there, so you can see this epitaph there, name, lineage and pronouns, and nice. And a couple of, and then we've got some couple of, these are the gods and divine favor. I see. Cool. Alright, so when we play Agon, we are crafting the stories of great heroes and memorializing epic poems. To distinguish them in the narrative, each hero has a heroic epitaph. Epitaph? No, it's not epitaph. Epitaph. A short, evocative phrase that describes the features that boost that hero in conflicts. Perhaps your hero is silver-tongued, pure-hearted, or strong-limbed. Each hero will have a unique epitaph on epithet, yeah. All of their own. Not epitaph is something different. I can't believe it. So this all begins at D6. So you got one from the list, or you can create one. Okay, so we've got stuff like bloody-minded, well-learned, shadow-wise, lion-hearted. Okay, great. So that's step 1. Step 2 is that you need a hero's name. This is a crucial part of who they are. It will live far beyond their mortal life, ringing out in legend down through the ages. Every contest role in the game involves your hero's name die. It is essential to their heroic identity. This also begins at D6, and it grows in potency as you accumulate glory in play. For a list of ancient names, see page 133. So, I see. So you have the epitaph at the front. Epithet. Oh gosh. And then the name of that. So alright. Well, we do have. Where's the player kit? Who's going to do it? So there you go. You got a list of names here as well, which is good. Oh, and it's got it here as well. How do we do our origins? So it goes. Yes, 7 steps. Alright. Yeah, you got a big list on this player sheet as well, so that's quite good. And you can customize the name by changing the ending. Oh, nice. A nice list there. Alright. Next step is lineage and domains. Lineage is the name of your significant parent, ancestor, or people. You are their scion. You may choose to have a god as an ancestor, making you a demigod. Your lineage follows after your hero's name. Next to your lineage, record pronouns used for your hero. Next, choose a favored domain that reflects your hero's lineage. Each contest in the game falls into one of 4 domains. We've got arts and oration, blood and valor, craft and reason, and resolve and spirit. Your favored domain is a D8, and the others begin at D6. Interesting. Okay. And this is all. I'm gonna check where this is. If I go back up, what have we got here? So we've got. So this is where you record those D8s, D6s, and the same here. Honored God and divine favor. So next you'll choose the primary god from which your hero draws divine favor. This may change during play, but for now decide which hero your god is devoted to. Your hero begins with 2 marks of divine favor with their favored god. You may also distribute 3 more marks of favor beyond the other gods. To indicate a mark of favor on your hero sheet, just put a slash through the diamond of the god like this. Okay. If you want your hero to honor that god that isn't listed amongst the 12 in the pantheon, you may choose a different one. Work with the players to create a strength that reflects the god's nature and write it in the space on your character sheet, on your hero sheet, sorry. Nice. So I see this is where you would indicate you've got divine favor. The gods of ancient Greek pantheon are described on the following pages along with strengths granted by divine favor. Ooh. Oh, nice! Look at that. Again, I've seen this image before. Absolutely beautiful. What we've got Apollo, we've got Aphrodite, Ares, Artemis, Athena, Demeter, Hecate, Hera, Poseidon, Hermes, Zeus. Oh man, how do I pronounce that one? Oh, no. Hephaestus. Hephaetosis. No, that's not it. It's nice to have a choice. 6, so you've got 12 to choose from. Ah, what's this at the top? If your group wants to use a different pantheon of deities, discuss the gods you would like to incorporate in your tales and use the special blank hero sheet with spaces to record new goals. I wonder if... I bet that's what this one is at the back then. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there we go. That was the difference. You don't have any gods in this one. There we go. Good to know. Style. So next, develop an image of your hero, both their physical appearance and their outward demeanour. Focus on a few key features. How can we recognise your hero at a distance? Each hero brings an array of weapons and armour on their journeys, but for now, select a few that your hero especially favours. And then there's a lot of suggestions as well. I wonder if there's any suggestions in like it. So let's have a look, see. Oh, yes, there is on this side. How wonderful. So we've got stuff like animal aspects, and eyes, form, care. And then you've got some armor and favored weapons. Nice. Okay. Then we have bonds. So once everyone is finished, introduce your hero to the other players. Tell them the epithet, name, lineage, and pronouns, the deity you favor, and the features by which they know you. Write the other heroes' names in the bonds sections of your hero sheet. Where's that? Bonds sections? Yeah? No. Oh, here. Here it is. Alright. Demigod heroes record 1 bond with each other hero and then 1 bond with their divine ancestor. Mortal heroes record 2 bonds with each hero. Okay. And then we'll have some more details about that later. And finally, determine the first leader of the heroes. It is done with a contest, pitting the heroes against a crisis created by the Strife player during the voyage to their first island. The sailors and ship are in danger, and the heroes must rally together to overcome the problem. Details of the first contest are on page 43. Okay, great. So that already we've got a nice way to introduce people to each other to finish it all off. That's great. Okay. The hero who is best earns the right to name the leader for the next island. The leader is responsible for interpreting the signs of the gods and has the final say over how the band of heroes... Sorry, there's my own Fast and Furious happening outside. I was like, whoa. The leader is responsible for interpreting the signs of the gods and has final say over how the band of heroes face the trials on the island. But then we have leadership changes during the voyages in respite phases of play, and we can see more details later. Oh, and here's an example. An example from before. Nice. Okay, pretty straightforward. And then we've got some more examples here that aren't using the character sheet, which is good. I will say again, I know I won't go on about this. No alt text, unfortunately. But again, yeah, I know. Alright, chapter 3, Trials, Contests, Battles. So this is hopefully going to tell us about how we do the main mechanic of this. Alright, so contests. So the action of the game is always drives towards conflict, because each island is plagued by strife. The efforts of the heroes will inevitably bring them into confrontations with dangerous opponents. To resolve a conflict, we engage in a contest. This has 4 steps. We have face your opponent, speak your name, test your fortune, and recite your deeds. Oh, cool. So face your opponent. When the heroes are tested against a worthy opponent, a contest is triggered. The contest may be initiated by the actions of the heroes or by the efforts of the foe. Either way, the contest is resolves which side is victorious and gets them what they want. Usually, the heroes act together as a single team, but sometimes they may split up into pairs, or a hero may face an opponent alone. The procedure is the same regardless. In Agon, almost anything can be an opponent. A contest can occur against a raging storm, a giant boar, a bandit army, a devious king, or the enchanting song of a siren. As long as the opponent is worthy, hold a contest to resolve the outcome. Anyone can call for a contest, but the Strife player has the responsibility to be vigilant and identify when the heroes come into conflict against a foe. When the contest is called, the hero players may confer with each other, and then they declare their opposition to the foe by stating their approach and goal. Their approach describes the overall method by which they are contending against the foe, by winning them over with songs and drink, assaulting them with weapons, by sneaking quietly by, etc. And the goal is what they hope to achieve if they win. The Strife player does the same for the opponents, saying saying how they oppose the heroes and what they are fighting for. If there is no worthy opponent in the situations, the heroes simply accomplish what they're trying to do. It's an automatic success, not deserving of dice rolls or glory. Okay, so choose a domain of conflict. Is this one number 2? No, it's still in the same one. Okay. So it's up to me as a Strife player to determine which of the 4 domains of conflict will resolve the conflict at hand. This goes back to the skills. So we've got arts and oration, which includes all forms of effective expression, including music, poetry, dance, and storytelling. This domain resolves contests of culture, artistry, and persuasiveness. Blood and Valor represents bold action, including wrestling, running, skirmishing, and outright warfare. This domain revolves around contests of violence, bravado, and athletic prowess. Craft and reason concerns the matters of intellect, including academics, tactic, healing arts, intrigue, and trickery. This domain resolves contests of scholarship, vocations, and subterfuge. And then finally, we've got resolve and spirit, represents the strength of will and soul, including tenacity, inspiration, and mystic arts. This domain resolves contests of perseverance, passion, and intuition. The choice of domain depends on the details of the situation and the actions of the characters involved. If the heroes initiate the action, focus on their approach and goals when choosing the domain. If the heroes resist an opponent, the domain should reflect the opponent's reaction. Then we're going to have probably some play examples written throughout, which is fine. We're just not going to read through those. Okay, then assemble the opponent's dice pool. So the Strife player will announce the opponent by name, along with any of their epithets, and apply to that contest. Grab the dice for their name and epithets, as well as any bonus dice, see below. Okay, so you face the monstrous surface of Nimos in a contest of blood and valor. The game grabs a d10 for the monstrous and a d10 for the name. Not every epithet will apply to every type of contest, usually just one, though some, especially potent foes, may roll several at once. And then we've got bonus die. So bonus die, there's 2 types of bonus die that may apply to a roll depending on the situation, but they don't apply for every contest. We've got advantage and we've got wrath. So advantage are a way for specific fictional details to impact a contest, such as having superior numbers or striking when a foe is weakest. Some opponents have special abilities that grant advantage die. The value of an advantage die always depends on how well it applies to a situation, from a d6 up to a d10. Both heroes and opponents may use advantage dies, and it's explained a little bit more in detail later on. Okay. And then we have something called wrath dice. These represent the interference of vengeful gods in a contest, adding a bonus die to the opponent's pool, depending on the level of wrath, either a d8, a d10, or a d12. Only the Strife player uses wrath dice, and this is tracked by the wrath is tracked by the Strife player, changing as a result of the actions the heroes have on the island. Okay. So I guess let's look at the play example. Serpent of Nimos has a special ability called Scintillating Scales, which adds a 1d10 advantage die in this contest because of its colour-shifting body makes it almost impossible to see in the dark sea caves where it's made its lair. Apollo is watching over the Isle of Nimos, including the fate of his terrible servant, and his wrath is manifest as a brilliant lance of light from the sky, cascading through the seas, dazzling the eyes of the heroes. The D8 to include in the opponent's pool. Oh, shoot. Right, then the Strife player rolls. So, rolls before any actions are narrated. This roll establishes the target number for the hero players and the amount of glory the contest is worth. So, roll all the dice in the Strife player's pool. Keep the single highest die and add the current Strife level. It's usually +5, but maybe down to +4 or +6, depending on the occurrences on the island. Then announce that total for the target number. Oof. Let's see. So you're not necessarily. Yeah, I get you. So it's the highest die. So here on this example, it's a 7, and then +5 to the current strike, so that's 12. So the target number for this contest is 12. If there are multiple opponents, roll all of their dice together, keeping the single highest, and add the strife level. The strife player never counts more than 1 die on a roll. Okay, that is good to know. Oh, that's cool. It's got an actual little description. Got a little diagram here and saying what makes up the pool and what the result. How do we get the result? Nice, I like that. Strife player doesn't describe the actions of the opponent. All the narration of the action happens in the 4th step of the contest, which is recite your deeds. After the Strife player and all the heroes have rolled, the outcomes are known: who suffers, who prevails, and who is best. Oh, that's an interesting one. Having all the rolling done, and then you're like, okay, how do we narrate this? It's actually a very good idea. I just have to break out of that habit of constantly narrating as I go. So, then we go to the heroes. So after the Strife player rolls and announces the target number, they ask who among you will face this contest. The hero player indicates their participation by speaking their name. Taking turns, starting with the leader. On your turn, recite your hero's identity and grab dice as you go. If your epithet applies to the contest, grab that dice. Then you add your name die and your domain die for the contest when you say your name and lineage. You may mark pathos. Pathos is here, isn't it? Here you go. To include a die from a second domain in your dice pool. You may invoke divine favor, calling upon the strength of your gods, and if you do, you can add a D4 to your pool and spend one of the built-in divine favor things. If you spend a bond, ask that player to give you a copy of their name. They still get to use their name for their own roll. And if you have a vantage die, you can include it in your dice pool. So let's have a look at this play example. So I will face this contest. I am Shadowwise Zentropa, scion of Surta. I call upon the insight of Hecate to aid me. So we get a plus D6 for the Shadowwise. We got plus D6 for the name, plus D8 for the Blood and Valor contest, and then a D4 for the insight, spending a mark at 5. Okay, straightforward enough. Testing your fortune. Once everyone has spoken their names, roll your hero's dice pool and sum your 2 highest, not counting D4s. Then add the number on the D4 if you have one to the 2 highest dice to get your hero's final result. In this example, we get 1d8, 2d6, and gets 6, 5, and 3. So her 2 highest ones, that's 11. Then d4 was a 3, and it adds 6. That's a total of 14 when the target number is 12. To determine the hero's fortune in the contest, compare your hero's result to the Strife player's target. If it's equal to or greater, the hero prevails. Their action goes well and they overcome the challenge. The prevailing hero with the highest total is best, and then roll a name dice to break the tie. Oh, cool. But less than that, your hero suffers. Their action goes awry, and they have to endure hardship to persevere. If all the heroes suffer, then the opponent wins the contest. Oh, so one of you has to at least succeed the target number. Okay. Oh, nice. We've got another little diagram here. Ooh, ow. I like that. I kind of wish that this though. I bet it's. Is it on this? I mean, we've got the contest procedure here. Oh, look at that nice little. Oh, that's the Bolt of Heaven stuff, isn't it? Okay. Oh, come on, I want to see. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily say. It would be good if it had these diagrams as one of the on one of the reference sheets, perhaps, but it's fine. And then you recite the deed. So after that, ooh, too far in. After the rolls, the hero players take turns narrating their hero's actions and effect on the contest, starting with the hero who suffers, and then the heroes prevail, then the hero who is best. Use your outcome to guide your narration, including your epithet, pathos, and your divine favour if you use them as details. The hero sheet has a set of clues to help you add details to your recitation of deeds. Okay. Let's see. Is it? Ooh, come on. It has a set of cues. Recitation of deeds, is it? I don't know. I would say that. Oh, it's here at the bottom, I guess. Ooh, the suffer. Oh, the recite your... it's here, idiot. So how does your recite your deeds. How? Oh, that's quite for each different. Oh, for each different contest, you have different ways of describing it. So if we were doing that blood and valor one, so the prompts it gives is like, how was the blood spilt? How was your strength, agility, or courage shown? How did it take away? How did you take our breath away? Nice. I like that. That's okay. I quite like that. That's quite a good shout, isn't it? Ooh. All right. During the recitation of deeds, the strife player responds with actions of the opponent, either overcoming a hero or being thwarted, depending on the outcome. So yeah, so we do all that rolling before, and then we go it like play by play by play, rather after the fact, rather than doing it as we're rolling. But yeah, very much appreciate that, and I like how we have to go from one that suffers to the one that does best. That almost does like the killing blow. Oh, that's pretty good. Rewards. A contest always results in glory for the heroes. The prevailing hero with the highest result is best and earns glory equal to the target number. So on that previous example, it would have been 12. The other heroes prevail, each earning half the amount rounded up. Each hero that suffers earns 1 glory but may take harm. To break a tie, each hero rolls their name until a clear winner is established. Divine favour may also be rewarded after a contest if the heroes have honoured or impressed a god with their efforts. A hero may choose to sit out a contest to provide support. They pass a copy of their domain die to a hero player of their choosing, who includes it in their dice pool. The supporting hero gains 1 bond with the hero they support and earns 1 glory. If your hero is supported in a contest, invite the supporting hero to contribute to a brief moment of action to portray their aid when you recite their deeds. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so yeah, you can do the supporting thing. Very... And it's there as well. Ah, I like that. What a cracking image, by the way. These illustrations are so good. They're sort of like silhouetted creatures and people, and then I love the colours, the sort of textured colours of this blue on this particular one. So good. Okay, then we come to something called harm. The strife player may inflict harm on the heroes as a result of an opponent's traits or the nature of the situation. Some opponents may have harmful traits indicated next to their name die or on the epithet die, so that type of harm is threatened whenever they roll those dice. Types of harm are epic, mythic, perilous, and sacred. Well, that was at the bottom here. I saw these. Yeah. The epic is you mark pathos to enter a contest against an epic foe. Mythic is spend divine favour to enter a contest against a mythic foe. Perilous is that you mark pathos if you suffer against a perilous foe, and sacred is that you spend divine favour if you suffer against a sacred foe. Okay, so these are... I guess these are after the fact, right? And this obviously depends on what kind of creature you're facing, or what kind of danger you're facing. You may spend a bond to ask that character to block harm for you. They say how they're defending you, and neither of you suffer the harm. Oh, that's good to know. A hero may choose to die or otherwise leave play to prevail in a contest, regardless of their role. trying again. A contest cannot be attempted again unless the situation changes in significant ways. A different time or place, different approach and goal, or different characters involved, and a flowchart summary of a contest can be seen on page 144. Let's have a quick look at that. I want to just see what that looks like. We're on page 31 just now. Oh, perfect. Look at that. I was going to say, it's on over 2 pages. Okay, that's not too bad, actually. Again, I would have that printed out for everyone to see. I know it has it here in this play kit document. The problem is with this play kit document, so we've got nice way to character creation, great. It's here, and it's a little bit squished, I think, you know, with all the other sort of hero reference sheets in it. I would just 100% just have this contest summary out so everyone can see it. Especially because it's a little bit clearer. It's like a proper flow diagram as well. So yeah, I like that a lot. Whereas this is a little bit too intense, perhaps. Too... not intense, what's the word I'm looking for? Too packed in. So that was that. Alright. Let's go on to battles. Okay. So by winning a contest, the heroes can overcome an obstacle to achieve an immediate goal. But to defeat an opponent once and for all, the heroes must engage in battle. A battle is a series of linked contests arranged in 3 phases. We have Clash, we have Threat, and we have Finale. So in Clash, the summary is the heroes and opponents make their opening moves, maneuvering for a superior position. The winner earns a 1d10 advantage die, which they may use once during battle. Threat is that the opponent lashes out, threatening disasters. In this phase, each hero chooses to either defend against a disaster or seize control of the battle. The winner of Seize Control chooses the domain and stakes of the finale and ultimate fate of the opponent. And then Finale is a concluding contest to determine the victor. Okay, so it's still pretty straightforward, I think. In terms of, like, again, the contest, that's like, it's just doing 2 different contests. Sorry, not 2, 3 different contests. Alright, so Clash. Clash is... oh, zoom in a little bit more. Perfect. The Strife player describes the circumstances of the battle and any details that might be used to gain an advantage. The hero players declare how their heroes are joining the battle, what maneuver they attempt to gain an edge against the opponent before the battle is joined, and then the Clash contest is rolled. But unlike a normal contest, each hero player may choose the domain they roll for the Clash based on the action their hero is taking to seize an advantage. The winner of the Clash contest, the Strife player or the best hero player, earns a 1d10 advantage die for any roll in the battle. This may be given to another hero player in exchange for a bond. Heroes can earn glory as normal in this contest and all battle contests. Oh great, so you even get more glory there. Okay. And then we go on to the second phase, which is Threat. During the Threat phase, the heroes and opponents collide. The opponent lashes out, menacing the world, whilst the heroes stand in defense or strive to take control. There are 2 contests during the Threat phase, and each hero may only participate in one or another. First, the Strife player announces the disasters that will happen unless a hero thwarts them. An opponent will usually make 2 or 3 disastrous moves, one often against all the unnamed citizens of the island, one against a single named character, and sometimes one against the heroes of the island itself. Then, each hero player chooses whether their hero will participate in the contest to defend against the disasters, or join the contest to seize control of the battle and set the domain and the stakes of the finale. Start with a contest to defend. Follow the normal contest procedure, but allow each hero to roll the domain most appropriate to the disaster they're opposing. They don't all have to roll the same one. Each hero who prevails may stop one disaster from happening, but any remaining disasters come to pass. Then resolve the contest to seize control of the battle. Probably should be in bold there. Follow the normal contest procedure. If the heroes win, they'll decide what's at stake for the opponent in the finale. They may choose death, imprisonment, exile, a change of heart, external grief and torment, anything that suits the battle and is within their ability to impose. In addition, Oh, don't freeze on me now. Yeah, the winner of the seized control of the seized contest determines the domain for the final contest. If the opponent wins the contest to seize control, they get to determine their own fate in the finale. They may avoid full consequences of the battle if they lose. Nice. Okay, so I think that's fairly straightforward. Although, wait a minute. I was going to say, do we have a... So that's only threats. I guess because finale is pretty much the same as that concluding contest. Okay. So ultimately, in total then, when we're doing like a big battle, it's like 4 of these contests. Except a player will only probably take part in 1 or 2. Oh, sorry, up to 3. Yeah. Because there's like one or another for this threat phase. Right. Oh, that's... Oh, and then the finale. Okay, so there's just a massive placeholder picture in between them. Okay. The conclusion of the battle is the finale contest. The winner of this contest is the victor in the battle. Their foe is defeated and they are triumphant. Because the battle is often conducted to resolve the strife of an island, the finale determines its destiny, whether it's saved from a dark fate or descends further into suffering. Resolve the finale using the normal contest procedure. The final outcome of the battle is then judged, considering both the result of the seized contest and the finale contest together. So, here are sort of some of the outcomes. So we've got the heroes just lose the finale. The opponent is the victor, and they avoid punishment or trouble from the battle. Strife is ascendant, and the island slips into misery and woe. The heroes have fallen short. Second option is that the heroes win the finale, but they lost the seized contest. Strife is beaten back and the island is set on a path towards recovery, but it will not be easy. The heroes are victorious, but their enemy is not brought to account as they wished. The opponent remains as a diminished source of trouble for the island. And then finally, the heroes win the finale and win the seized contest. Strife is overcome and the island's destiny is bright. The heroes win the day and their opponent suffers the fate the heroes chose for them. Straightforward. And oh, here we go. We got... Oh, I see what it is. So that's the initial sort of clash, the initial contest. Threat, you either do seize or defend, and then the finale. Less straightforward, that diagram, I would say, but hey, all good stuff. A variety of battles. So to learn the system, let the first battle you try be one of weapons, which is the easiest sort of conflict to understand and adjudicate. After everyone is familiar with how battles work, always be on the lookout for interesting variations. Battles of dance, music, dance, rhetoric, the occult, subterfuge, scholarship, and many others can just be as fun as martial confrontations. For example, and then we've got a couple of examples here. For an arts and oration one, we've got a dance competition, maybe a music performance, poetry recital, that could be quite fun. Court trial, rhetorical debate. And Blood and Valor, obviously we've got like a desperate race against an exploding volcano, classic. A series of athletic games, running, wrestling, and javelin throwing. A craft and reason, we've got rebuilding a sacred site to appease an angry god. A naval engagement, a devious scheme to infiltrate an enemy stronghold and free their prisoners. And then finally, Resolve and Spirit, an arcane ritual to send spirits back to the underworld, a long-term test of endurance, resorting to lost hope and overcoming grief and despair. So just some examples of the kinds of contests you can do that aren't just, I hit it, I fight it, I hit it. Oh, what a great image as well. Tag yourself, I'm definitely with the grapes. I'm just about to be eaten. We're doing all right. So, let's go for Respite, Exodus, Voyage, and Homecoming. So this is probably the travel stuff, right? So, when the heroes leave an island, resolve the 4 phases of the Exodus. The destiny of the island, the great deeds, virtues, and reflections. So possibly this is the downtime stuff, right? Destiny of the island. Based on the actions of the heroes and the outcome of the contests and battle, the Strife player determines the destiny of the island, records its future in the roster of the islands on the Strife player booklet. I'm guessing that must be... Oh, no, that's too far. This one. This is where it'll be. I'll zoom out a little bit. There you go. Great deeds. Second one. So each hero player records a great deed in which their hero will be remembered or a trophy they seized in the adventure. They can be used as an advantage die later on if they apply to a contest. Like all advantages, their value is based on how potent they are in a given situation. Once a great deed or trophy is used this way, check the box beside it on the hero sheet. It is still a part of the hero's history, but it will not sway the outcome of future challenges. Like a one-off boost, essentially. If a hero wants to call upon it again in future, they can propose a contest to make the deed or trophy relevant again and uncheck the box. Where is that on him? I guess here. Nice, that's where you put it there. Alright, virtues. And then each hero player records virtues for their hero. Acumen, courage, grace, and passion to assess the nature of their actions on the island. Virtues are used to judge the hero's character when they reach the end of their tale. Acumen is the display of knowledge, wisdom, cunning, or wit. Courage is the display of bravery, daring, bravado, or vigour. Grace is the display of finesse, patience, compassion, or care. Passion, then, is the display of love, devotion, fervour, and zeal. Okay. On your turn, ask the other players which virtue your hero is most embodied on the island and why. Each player gives you a mark in a virtue. So, for example, if there are 3 other players, you'll get 3 virtue marks. If the players don't agree on a single virtue, they don't have to agree on a single virtue. They have a free choice on which virtue to give. Oh, that's quite cool. So yeah, you just get a little mark there. So virtues, where are those? Ah, here. At the bottom of the sheet. Whoop, at the bottom of the sheet. A little bit out of the way. I would say I completely missed that. Yeah, I wish those were... I'm guessing this is going to be important for leveling up later. Reflection. If a player character decides that their epithet is no longer applies, they may replace it with one that better reflects the character's nature. Alright, and that's it. That's the downtime aspect, huh? I wonder what virtues mean, though. Oh, sorry. It's used to judge the hero's character when they reach the end of their tale. Okay. So it's not necessarily leveling up. So, voyage. Whilst following the stars to a new island, the heroes rest and recover. Complete the 4 stages of the voyage. Fellowship, sacrifice, leadership, and the vault of heaven. Fellowship. So the heroes relax and enjoy each other's company. Taking turns, each hero player asks one question to another. That player answers, and then both take a bond with each other. And the next hero player takes their own turn, strengthening bonds, asking a question of a player who's not yet been asked. There's some example ones here. So we've got, what is your best memory of home? What did you think of that island we're leaving now? What do you yearn for or fear? What drives you? What do you think of the gods? So these are quite open questions, which is great. And then when the fellowship is marked, each hero removes all the marks of pathos. Does pathos... I guess... And pathos obviously adds... I guess it's not a negative thing. It adds... it adds advantages, doesn't it? I can't remember. I think it does. I'm not going to look for it now. I feel like it does. It adds something. Or you use it to face other creatures, right? Sacrifice. The hero of the greatest current glory leads a sacrifice to the gods to seek guidance and favour in their next trials. Each god has their own preferred oblations, but in general it's burning incense, leaving foods such as fruit, olives, figs, dates, and cakes and spiced cakes, or spilling libations such as wine, liquid, milk, or frankincense oil are all common practices. Heroes may also perform for the gods, recounting their greatness with story and song, or they may offer up some trophy in the gods' honour, perhaps obtained during their adventure on the island. They may also make promises to the gods to perform acts in their service. Blood offerings. So oxen, cattle, goats, sheep, and swine are also offerings made in the temples of Greece. Specific gods had favoured animals as well. For example, Poseidon favoured the sacrifice of horses. But before introducing the sacrifices of living creatures into your game, ask the players if they're comfortable with it first. Amazing. There wasn't a particular like session 0 or like, hey, this is check with your players if they're comfortable with certain things. So that's pretty good. It's nice to have that. To resolve the sacrifice, each hero rolls a contest of resolve and spirit. Then the strife player rolls 2d6 and keeps the highest die. There's no strife level. Each hero earns glory as usual, and the best hero also earns a bond with the deity. Win or lose, each hero marks 2 divine favour with the gods of their choice. If all the heroes suffer, the sacrifice is not well received by the gods. Who can say what appeases the fickle appetites? The strife player marks Raft with the honoured god of the hero who leads the sacrifice. Ooh, okay. Where do I do that though? I guess there's not like a sheet for it. I just do it, I guess. Let's make a note of it. Yeah, I guess so. That's interesting. And then leadership, this is the third step. During the voyage, the strife player describes a challenge that the ship of sailors and heroes must overcome. The strife player rolls 2d6 and keeps the highest die. There is no strife level. The best hero chooses which among the band will be the leader for the next island. The leader will have final say of how the band deals with the strife of the island, as well as carrying the responsibility to interpret the signs of the gods. If the strife player wins the contest, the leadership remains unchanged. So that's good. Again, I like that, how you could pass the round who is the games master in that. And then finally we've got this thing called the Vault of Heaven. So based on the actions of the heroes on the island, the strife player marks progress on the Vault of Heaven sheet. Oh, maybe that's where the oh, come on. It doesn't have the. This is for me. I can see that now. Okay, great. But there's no. I thought it would have like the raft stuff here, but maybe not. So this is the Vault of Heaven stuff here. Mark a star if the heroes honoured or pleased that deity on the island. Mark 2 if they greatly please them. So here, oh, I love that. Like using the constellations and then having stars in there. Nice. For each star marked, each hero receives 1 mark of divine favour with that deity. If the constellation is already filled, each hero may take 1 divine favour with that deity anyway. For 3 stars marked, each hero earns a boon, increasing their capabilities. When our constellation is completely filled, each hero records a boon with that deity. We can see here that I am gonna. Ooh, are they all in the right order though? Yeah, I'm sure that's this. So, oh, there's 3 on each. I was gonna say there's only 2 here. I see. There's actually 3 stars for each one. I get you. Yes. So mark Wrath. Oh, so this is Wrath here at the bottom. Ah, I see. If the hero is dishonoured or displeased the deity whilst on the island. Determine divine pleasure or wrath based on the leader's interpretation of the signs of the gods for this island. Did the heroes follow through on what they believed to be the will of the gods, or did they fall short? If any additional gods were invoked or included in the situation on the island, the marks their stars or wrath as well. When the heroes please a god, gaining favour with them, that god's anger may subside, i.e. reducing the wrath. However, that isn't guaranteed. Gods are fickle and may hold on to grudges. If a hero really wants to make amends, they may seek to appease the god during an adventure, perhaps making a contest mythic, or doing it in the gods by doing it in the god's honour, or otherwise supplicating their vicious whims. Finally, we've got Homecoming. So Homecoming, through the trials and dangers, heroes may earn mercy from the gods and be released from their wanderings. When enough constellations are completed in the Vaults of Heaven, the heroes finally make it back to their hearth and home. The campaign ends and the players earn their right to recount the legacy of their heroes. See page 50 to determine how you determine your hero's legend. For a shorter game, fill 3 constellations to return home, but for a longer one, fill 5 constellations. Okay, great. So you're not having to do the whole 12. Nice. Oh, I've got them here as an example. Oh yeah, it's more using their example here. Ooh, that's really cool. I'm guessing if you've earned the ire of someone, you can't necessarily fill in their Oh no, you got them here. You got filled in Zeus, both wrath and divine favor. Sorry, words. Legend, and then we've got glory, agony, fate, boons, and a hero's end. So this is going to talk to us through the legacy part, I guess. So glory. So glory is the measure of epic greatness. I think this is on top of the page, isn't it? Yeah, here we go. Ooh, what those numbers mean. It's what sets heroes apart from those who are lost to history. By bringing glory to their name, a hero earns their place in legend. Every time a hero participates in a contest, they earn glory, which is tracked on the hero sheet. Yep, we've seen it at the top here. It's a bit small, but otherwise fine. I mean, to be fair, if you've got 5, 10, 15, 20, it's 40, right? So yeah, it is a lot. A hero who is best in the contest earns an amount of glory equal to the target number. Those who prevail, half as much, but it's rounded up, and then who supports or suffers earns 1. On the glory track on your character sheet, there are special markers for when you hit certain glory amounts. Yeah, these are over here. When you hit a marker, you advance your name die to the indicated level, so D8, D10, D12, and then reset your glory back to 0. Oh, right. See. Interesting. I mean, it's an easy way, because this goes all the way up to 40. So you can be like 40 and then 80. Yes, so I see. It's a way to track it a little bit easier. When your hero reaches the end of their tail, the size of their name die determines the strength of their legend. Agony. So when the hero marks their last box of pathos, oh, okay, so these ones, okay, it's 5. They enter agony. They can no longer press on against hardship without serious cost. When you mark agony, mark fate. Oh, when you enter agony, mark fate. So here at the bottom here. Each mark is permanent and brings your hero closer to their end. When you would suffer pathos whilst in agony, mark fate instead. Okay, so we've got, how many we've got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got 9 free boxes there. Recovering from agony, but you can't from agony whilst you're on an island. Oh, okay. During the voyage, a hero rests and recuperates, removing all marks of pathos and agony. See page 42. Okay. Oh, I see. I guess it's like a final fight. What happens when you get all of those, though? I feel like it's going to be pretty bad. Oh, that's cool. I've just seen that. Draw your shield symbol. That's cool. Fate. Oh, we're literally about to talk about fate and agony. Every hero must meet their fate: glorious death in battle, peaceful old age by their half, or a tragic-filled end filled with sorrow. One thing is certain: fate is, oh gosh, inexorable, and cannot be resisted. In play, the span of a hero's tale is measured with the fate track on the hero sheet. You will mark off a box of fate when you enter agony, marking your last box of pathos. Yep. When you suffer pathos while already in agony. When you're required to spend divine fate but don't have any. I did wonder about that. When you mark a box on the fate track, they earn a boon. When your final box is checked, your hero story has ended, and you discover the legend afterwards. Okay, I see. So it basically, yeah, we got 9 times before it's like the end, essentially. Boons. I think boons, they're here as well on the player sheet. So you got quite a lot on the player sheet, so that's all good. You don't have to flip over the page. So heroes grow in power by receiving boons as their fate increases and when they make progress towards home. There are 3 benchmarks on the fate scale of 1, 4, and 8, indicated by the marked box. Hang on. When you mark a fate box, you also gain a boon. Every hero who earns 1 boon, or every hero also earns 1 boon for every 3 stars in the Vault of Heaven. Yeah. When you earn a boon, mark one of the following boxes on your hero and permanently gain that benefit. Choose your first 5 boons from the initial set below. I guess they're here, right? You have to, I see, so you have to go from, yeah, okay. We've got advance the D8 die domain to a D10, advance your epithet, advance your domain, and then add another one. If both of your epithets, I don't know, they apply to a contest, you may roll 2 of those dice. When you've marked all 5 initial boxes, you may select from the ones below. So, okay, so when you support or bolster, the die that you give counts as one size larger. When you mark pathos for an extra domain, take 2 dice instead of 1. And then when you spend divine favor, roll 2d4 and keep the highest. Okay, gosh, you get a lot of stuff before you die. But again, okay, so yeah, I see. So, because you might not ever fill up your whole pathos thing and mark fate, but you will fill up those Vault of Heaven stars, so that makes sense. It's just a slower way of getting there. Okay, a hero's end. When you've marked all your fate boxes, your hero's tale is almost at an end. Your hero may finish its current island, any further fate suffered is ignored, and then they retire from the game. Your hero's journey also comes to an end if you choose to die in a contest, or if you return home. At the end of a session in which any heroes have met their end, the players determine the legend for each hero by assessing their name, great deeds, and virtues. Your hero's legend represents how they are remembered in song and epic poetry, so you may have a heavy dose of dramatic. So you may use a heavy dose of dramatic license if needed to properly embody their legacy. Writing your hero's legend also completes their name. Whilst they were on their adventures, they are known by their epithet, name and lineage, and now they will be called by the titles they earned and the great deeds they performed. So we've got Shadowwise, Zentropa, Scion of Circe. If you run out of time at the end of the session, or if you want more time to think about your hero's legend, you can hold off and reveal it at the start of the next session instead. Nice. So, for your legendary title, look at your 2 highest virtues, and choose how one of those titles appropriate to the list, from the appropriate list, to discover what your hero is called by the people who remember them. Oh, cool. So you take those 2 virtues and we can go there. So we've got stuff like Architect, we've got Seer, we've got Warlord at the top there with Acumen and Courage. We've got Grace and Passion as Liberator, Peacemaker, Prophet. Nice. Vindicator with Courage and Grace. If none of these titles appeal to you, feel free to create your own. There's a list there. There is a list there to spark ideas. Oh, the list is there to spark ideas and not limit your options. Fair enough. I wonder if there's ones on the other page. No, I think there's just character creation here. Yeah. That's what it is for character creation. Oh, thread. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's got anything. Your greatest deed. Look over your list of great deeds and find one that was most meaningful to you. If there are a few deeds that stand out, that's okay. You can blend them together in your epilogue. Zentropa was the defender of the people of Kryos and Nimos. She was going to focus her legend on among the people that she's going to focus on her legend amongst the people she protected and be called the Defender of the Lost Islands. But here, Hagne had many victories, but the one she prized the most was destroying those harpies. She will be known as Slayer of Harpies. Vault of Heaven. Did you appease the gods and return home? Will you be remembered as a hero to your people or a myth like the monsters you bested? If the Vault of Heaven is complete, 3 or 5 constellations filled, and your band returns home, answer one of the following questions and add it to your epilogue. The questions we've got 6 questions. We've got, what boon does the gods grant you to your people? What curse or burden befalls your people because of the ire you earned with one of the gods? What monuments are built in your honor, and what virtue of yours does the people aspire to achieve? If you didn't return home... Oh, I see, there's 2 separate lists of questions here. Answer one of the following instead. What mythical properties are ascribed to your hero in the songs sung about them? Who waits for you to their dying days in hopes that you will return home? And how do the gods torment you as you wander, never able to return home? Oh, brutal. The final factor in your hero's epilogue is the size of their name die. The larger the die size, the more epic the hero's epilogue should be. Consider the following guidelines. So D6 is a noble character, D8 is a great hero, D10 is a legendary hero, and D12 is an epic hero. I mean, D12s are the best die. Your name, your legend. Put all the elements of your epilogue together to complete your hero's name and create your legend. So here we've got Shadow Eyes Zentropa, Scion of Surtur, Defender of the Lost Isles, cursed by Hades to walk as a shade, remembered for generations. Feather-eyed Hagni, Scion of Athena, Slayer of Harpies, blessed by Hermes with bold and adventurous descendants, remembered for generations. Nice, I love that. And we've got ways to make new heroes if we want to do that. So ideas, we could have a wandering hero, a new ally that you've met on one of the islands, a companion. The easy way if you lose your hero by accident in one of the things, you can easily come back as well. So that's pretty good. Oh, I see at the bottom there. You may advance your fate track as far as you like and take new boons now that represents your previous experience. Nice. Okay, so you're not starting back from like level 1 again. Great. And then grace, we've got bonds, advantages, pathos, and divine favor. Okay. So during their trials, heroes lend aid to each other and expect their companions to do so in kind. The loose currency of oaths, favours, and gratitudes are recorded on the hero's sheet as bonds. Let's have a look. Go back to it. Bonds are here, in this section here. Okay. Gaining bonds. So at character creation, a demigod gains 1 bond with each hero and 1 bond with their divine ancestor, whereas the mortals gain 2 bonds with each hero. In a contest, a hero may sit out to provide support for another hero. They pass their domain die to the hero player of their choosing, who includes it in their dice pool. They will get 1 bond for supporting the hero, plus 1 glory. In a battle, a hero player who earns the advantage die from the clash phase may give it to another player in exchange for a bond with them. And during a voyage between islands, heroes have fellowship with each other and can create new bonds. Oh, I see. So they're almost like, yeah, they're sort of like a quick pick-me-up in some way. So we've got bolster you, block harm for you, or follow your lead. So they bolster you, it's almost like helping out, so they'll give a copy of their name die. Okay. Block harm is how they defend you and the harm is avoided, but they don't suffer it either. So it's a quick, like, one, ooh, I don't want that harm. And then follow your lead. Spend a bond with the leader of the group to sway them to your idea or plan. You may spend more than 1 bond in a contest roll. Interesting. God bonds. When you call on a bond with a god, it works like a bond with a mortal, except their name die is a D12. Bonds with other powerful entities are also possible, so like the four winds and the furies, etc. Okay. Advantages. Can seize an advantage when the circumstances favour them, usually by winning a contest, but the strife player may grant an advantage without a contest if the situation calls for it. They assign a die size to the advantage based on how well it applies to the situation. The more applicable it is, the larger the die is. If the die is moderate, make it D6, strong is a D8, extreme is a D10. Advantage die from the clash is always a D10. Pathos. In their trials, heroes endure pain, despair, and exhaustion. A normal person would succumb to these hardships, but heroes possess an inner fire that lets them press on, known as pathos. Mark pathos on your character sheet to push yourself in a contest and include a die from a second domain in your pool. What is a domain? Oh, I guess... Oh, I've just realised as well. So these are domains, so another domain here. Yep. Makes sense. I just realised that's the that's showing what the mechanic is. I could have done that without maybe a box around it, perhaps. I just realised what that bit was. I just was like, oh, it's another bit of reading. So, for example, in an arts and oration contest, you might mark pathos and include your craft and reason die. In addition, because your hero is employing trickery in their speech making. You could also mark pathos to endure harm. If you suffer in a contest against a perilous opponent, or if you or when you enter a contest against an epic opponent. It's a useful resource, but be warned, when you run out, you enter agony, which pushes your hero closer to their ultimate fate and the end of their tale. During the fellowship phase, we remove all marks of pathos. Oh, that was a very quick chapter, wasn't it? Oh, I lied. I still got divine favour. The heroes of our tale are capable of great feats beyond those mortals. It is said that they are favoured by the gods and may manifest their divine strengths in overcoming the most dire trials. It's earned in 3 ways: during character creation, in contents that gain the gods' attention, and during the voyage between islands. When you earn divine favour, you will mark a diamond on your hero sheet with a slash, and once you've got all those gods' diamonds marked, you cannot earn more with that particular deity. So we've got, only 2 per deity. In character creation, each hero gains 2 marks of divine favour with their honoured god. They may also distribute 3 more marks of favour amongst any of the other gods. During an adventure on an island, the strife player may judge that a god is watching the contest, often when the heroes are competing over something that pertains to their nature. Award a mark of divine favour for each hero for their efforts. And during a voyage between islands, the heroes make a sacrifice to their gods to earn divine favour. Spending divine favour, so before it's rolled, you may erase it and add a d4. That's sort of the main result, isn't it? And then this result is added to the final result, because we only pick our highest number, don't we? Yes, add it to yes. So if we use multiple marks of divine favour on account, you count the highest of the d4. Oh, interesting. During the recitation of deeds, whether they suffered or prevailed, the hero player describes how the strength of the gods of that god manifests. And these marks of divine favour can also be lost as a result of harm when we face mythic or sacred foes. Alright. And then that's kind of it. It's going to go on to guidance. What are we doing on time? Okay, we've got about half an hour. It's straightforward so far with the sort of mechanics. It's a little, it feels crunchy, but actually I think easily you can get into it. And thank God you've got those diagrams to show what you're doing in that case. Let's read the guidance then, and then we'll call it a night, shall we? So, this is for the Strife player, presumably. So, as tabletop role-playing games goes, Agon is fairly simple and straightforward, but there is some work to do to get it up and running before your first session. Maybe you plan to gather at someone's house and play at a table, or maybe you meet up online. Either way, you need to assemble a group of players. And they've got a pitch for... you just read this out to the players. Nice, I like that. Yeah, just read the opening passage of the book. You can send that pitch to potential players who might be interested, or help sell the concept to them. It's also included in the player's kit, which you can grab for free at our website, so send them a link to that if you want. It's a good idea to mention a few touchstones of the media they've heard of to get them excited about playing the game. Say, it's basically Xena, Warrior Princess. It's a nice shortcut approach. Tone. The game book and materials are styled to convey a fairly serious tone. This is by design to give you a baseline to work from. It's not meant to be stifling though. Get as wacky and as weird as you want when you play Agon. Be anachronistic and irreverent, just like Xena. Read that game pitch text with a bit of a bombastic movie trailer guy gravitas to let other players know it's all in good fun. Safety tools. Nice to see a bit of safety tools. Group size between 4 to 5 total, including the Strife player, is a good group number. Games with 3 are a bit more intimate, and so the heroes will need to depend on each other to overcome the trials. You can do 6 players if you must, but that's pushing what the game is meant to handle. It'll bulge a bit at the seams. That's quite a good description, actually. Someone needs to be the Strife player. Because you have this book, it's a good idea for you to be the Strife player first. And we're going to give some guidance in the next section. The things we'd need to prepare, so obviously character sheet, booklets. Oh, I see. I guess you get extra stuff. Print an island that looks fun to you. Oh, cool. A bunch of dice, snacks handy, etc. Yeah, okay. So the first sessions with first drinks and snacks, always important. Chat and break the ice. When everyone's ready, run through the pitch to refresh everyone's memory, discuss which safety tools to use, create heroes, and then run through the leadership phase of the voyage to determine the leader for the first island. Maybe take a short break at this point so that people refill their drinks and such, then jump back into the arrival at the island and the first contests. Proceed to the trial and then wrap it all up with the final battle. Run through the Exodus and Voyage if you have time, otherwise those can wait for the beginnings of Session 2. Because this game is episodic... Oh, my computer's about to turn off. No! The structure of each session will be pretty similar each time after that. Heroes will face the trials of an island presented by the Strife player. They address the divine commands or abandon them, deal with the strife, and move on to the next. Once everyone is familiar with the game, you can complete an island in one session of play, roughly 2 to 3 hours. Before you play through the islands, some heroes may meet their fate before they make it home. Those players can make new heroes and join the group in an ongoing journey. You might also think about changing the Strife player at some point, so a former hero player becomes a Strife player for a while and vice versa. Or you might want to change up the Strife player after each island. It's kind of up to your group. Eventually, after many adventures, the heroes return home and establish their heroic legends, and this campaign of Agon ends. Bask in the glory of the epic tales you have created. Agon is pretty simple and quick playing game. Appropriate for one-shots and convention slots. Because long-term advancement isn't relevant, you can focus on the great deeds of heroes to reward the players. These little images are great, aren't they? Alright, the Strife. The Strife player has a special role in the game. Unlike the hero players, you don't have to concern yourself with glory or fate or becoming legendary by your deeds. Instead, you are the guide who leads the heroes through their trials. First, pick an island from the book that looks interesting to you. Look over the elements of the island and spend a few minutes imagining the place and the characters. Make some notes if it sparks any ideas. Maybe you imagine that the queen has shining silver hair, or the pathway up to the cliffs is marked with memorial stones for those who died there. It's good to daydream a bit about the imaginary place, so it's more familiar to you when you share it with the hero players. When the group is ready to play, read out the island's descriptions, signs of the gods, and the arrival out loud to establish where the heroes are and what they first encounter. This introduces the key problem of the island, its strife, which the heroes may overcome to win the aid of the gods for their journey home. There's more guidance for presenting islands on 84. After the intro of the gameplay begins, each arrival section lists a few contests for the heroes to tackle right away, and you can use those or create your own. Okay, so we've got almost like 12 pre-generated islands then, but then we can just mix and match essentially. After that, the hero players decide what to do about the strife on the island and face the trials to address it. Each island has a set of trials the heroes may face. They'll explore, make discoveries, contend with villains, and make tough choices. To do this, they need you, the Strife player, to guide them along the way. Follow these 3 steps. Reveal the situation to the hero players. Ask questions and build on their answers to drive the game forward. Judge contests and resolve the outcomes into new situations. After a contest, the situation changes, so you'll go back to the top and reveal, then ask, then judge again. Going through that loop several times leads to a resolution of the strife on the island, for good or for ill, and the gameplay on the island is complete. Great. Okay, so it's fairly straightforward then, and then it doesn't seem too scary too much as a strife player, that you won't be coming up with too much, that you'll just be following that structure. You'll know where to go next. And there's guidance for each step that follows. Okay. I'm just thinking. We've got 20 minutes left. I'm wondering. I don't need to really look at this stuff. I don't think. We probably need strife level. We've sort of spoken about. Okay, and it's talking about like so guidance on like praxis essentially. Okay, scale and scope, expression, and as an expression of that. Okay, great. That's just more of that. I'm just going to check on the islands themselves. What do they look like? Yeah, so there's advice on how to present these sort of stories. Oh, and it's got things with some starter islands as well. Okay, let's have a look at one of these. Let's look at. Is that a starter one, the Cryos? It is not. For whatever. Oh no, it is. It's that first one there. Alright, so what do we have in terms of a starter island? So we've got some Signs of the Gods. Got an introduction page there. Some Turmoil, good. Some Trials. Some Battles. Characters and places and mysteries. Oh, okay. Oh, so roughly about 2 pages per island. Okay, that's quite good. Let's zoom on through these different ones. I like how they've got different... Oh gosh, I love these sort of like little... little full page sort of illustrations to indicate what the islands look like. And what they sort of... like having those sort of themes in there. I definitely see the appeal of it now. I definitely see, like, okay, it's a really simple system. Putting it, like, easy way to create a story. Easy way, I think, as well to create an actual play, let's face it. And it's nice that you can probably choose which islands you'd like to go to as well. And there's stuff about there, just like that, creating your own island. Nice, that could be good. Creating characters for it. Oh, and some random dice tables as well. Here is companion. Oh, so this is that example of that player's kit is there as well. So that's at the back of the place, at back of the core book. Oh, there's a lexicon there, so all those terms. Nice. And then you got the cultural primer at the back. Oh, I just saw a thing that said stereotypes. Nice. In the sense of like, and then, right, okay, so that was it. Okay, I appreciate a brief look at the final bits there, but again, we didn't need to go into too much detail about the lore per se. But what do we think? What do we think of Agon? I really like the system. I like that idea that you roll everything first, work out what order people go in, and then everyone gets a chance to narrate something, and then the Strife player narrates back. I like that because then you know what the set order is, and it's a very clear defined outcome. I really like that. I also really like that how this could easily, like, I like games where I'm like, oh yeah, I could probably run this for a convention slot. I could do this easily in one session. And yeah, again, I'm intrigued by it, and I bet the islands are actually quite fun as well. You can really put your own spin on it, per se. I think even then you could easily put maybe a more modern spin on it as well. Maybe you're doing that sort of like, I don't know, explorations in the 1800s or something. Yeah, I think I've changed my mind about it. Like, it's definitely something I'd be intrigued to play. I think it's a very simple system. Very easy one to get people into doing GMing, for sure. In terms of formatting, there's a little bit, I would think, just a quick go over with a fine tooth comb just to make sure it all makes sense and stuff. I think the advice was good. It was a very easy read, I found as well. Although I can't say epithets at all. I still don't think that's how you pronounce it. Forever my bane of my life. But there you go, that was Agon. And so if you want to grab your own copy of it, please, please, please check it out on Evil Hat Productions to get a hard copy, but obviously Drive-Thru RPG, itch.io, all your fun places. And yeah, I'd check out the player kit, which is free to download as well. I recommend checking that out as well. Thank you so much. Let me go to Big Fiona's face. And thank you for dealing with me just all over the place this evening. I don't know, maybe not concentrating as much. It's because I need to go to the gym, and I'm very aware of like, oh, time, I need to go. So, what are we talking? What have we got coming up? So, we don't have as many Too Long Didn't Read Tabletop RPG streams happening this coming week, because I've got a lot of fun actual plays that I'm recording, which will be fun. Looking forward to those. But we do have one, which name has now completely escaped my mind. I'm going to have to look it up just now. Because I put it in the ye old. Oh, I know what that is. That is the next one up. Oh, weirdly on a Greek theme. We're going to look at Icarus. Is our next one next Thursday, hopefully. About 5 PM GMT time. Icarus is like a world-building game about civilization's rise and fall, and I've got my physical copy that I managed to get off eBay of all places for 15 quid. I think it was on charity shops. Weirdly, I'm talking about charity shops at the beginning of the stream. Charity shops use eBay quite a bit as well, and I saw it there, and I was like, oh, amazing. So I actually paid them a little bit more because I don't think they realise how out of print it is to get a decent copy of Icarus, and it's just because I want to show maybe on stream the physical elements of it as well. The dice are a little bit different, and the cards as well. So we're going to look at Icarus, and then next Sunday, if we don't have any other RPG goodness, I'm going to go through My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic RPG, which I'm looking forward to, because I have read it through a long time ago, and I think it's very sweet. And if you've got people out there, whether it's children, whether it's partners, whether it's parents, it's definitely got a vibe. It's quite fun, and so we're just gonna have a look at that and see, a setting that's so evocative and that people are so passionate about, like, how does it fare, with its own system. I don't know if it is its own system. I do think it might be 5e, but we'll find out. We'll read through the core book for that. If you are interested in listening to some more What Am I Rolling, which is the podcast that I run, that's a link in the chat, that we would have had today, would have just come out during the stream, the interview we did with Daniel Hand, the RPG therapist, who uses his own RPG system with his clients to go through their sort of explore their inner worlds, essentially, which is really nice and awesome. And then coming up in a couple of weeks' time, we'll also have an interview with Game Therapy UK, which uses role-playing games with groups of vulnerable people, such as the unhoused and war veterans, etc., which is obviously a great cause. And it's just a nice way to use RPGs in a different way, per se. Like, no, it's not even that. What am I talking about? It's just nice that people get to access RPGs, and both Game Therapy UK and obviously Daniel just using it to benefit everyone. And so it's not just that, it's that board game you play in the basement downstairs. It's different now. And it's anyway. So that's coming out. I've got a few other RPG ones just coming out as well. If you want to check out a place where we all hang out and we all are very cool kids, that's a link to the Discord that's going out in the chat. So you come, have fun, tell me why I'm wrong about Grecian myths. No, I'm kidding. I think overall I've really enjoyed Agon as a system. Maybe it would change my mind about Greek gifts, Grecian myths. You can tell that my brain's completely fried already. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a brilliant rest of your weekend, no matter what you do. Have a good week, and I will see you, if I find the end of button stream, I'll see you in a little bit. Good night.